Hello. Um, Not gonna give my standard intro. Um, this is actually directed at a specific person that people may or may not know. His name is Martin, otherwise known as LittleKuriboh. Now, to my knowledge, LittleKuriboh has been suffering with depression for quite some time, and my belief on this subject is it's because it stopped. Now, what the hell do I mean by because it stopped? Because literally that could mean anything. Well, I don't mean that, oh, the series stopped. No. He stopped learning from it. He stopped pushing himself forward to learn new things, to enhance himself. When people stop learning, I find that when you stop learning, you die. You die inside because there's nothing else you can do. The information and knowledge you have gained has gotten you to that point, but you are no longer taking in new knowledge. You are no longer taking in new information. Therefore, how can you walk forward when you don't know where to go? If you don't have the information of where to go, then what do you tend to do? If I took you, the person listening to this, and I put you on a plane and dropped you somewhere in a desert. No roads, no landmarks, no bullshit. Which way would you go? You'd be lost. You'd feel lost, you'd feel helpless at the situation. You'd feel useless, depressed, destroyed. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, you'd you'd be down a dark path. And it's a dark path that I have walked many years. Not in complete depression, but to the point where it is still very hard for me to get up and walk forward. I find that nothing gives me motivation. I find that nothing gives me inspiration. I find that the only things that I am able to do is think. And I have used that to my advantage. I have constantly analyzed myself, the state I'm in, depression as a whole. And I have come not with the saving grace, although sort of, but not to the point where, oh, you're gonna hear this and instantly everything's gonna be better. No. It requires thought. Calculated, analyzed, critical thought. Of which I know LittleKuriboh is very capable of doing. You need to be able to think where you are now, the knowledge you have gained, and how you can best use that knowledge to gain more knowledge, to gain more wisdom, to enhance yourself as not only a person, but a human being. A person in a field of what is essentially filmmaking. Although it could be attributed to a lot of different fields as well, such as screenplays, script writing, directing, editing, so on and so forth. LittleKuriboh has demonstrated all of the above in spades. Now, the person listening to this, you may or may not be aware, LittleKuriboh is the person who coined the term abridged, or abridge, as in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, Dragon Ball Z abridged, Naruto abridged. He created essentially a genre of fan-made content for beloved series in a humorous overtone. If you have not heard of the word abridged, please go watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, go watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Sit down, maybe your cup of tea, maybe not. But LittleKuriboh is the person responsible for creating the entire genre. And he is essentially, right now, staring down a dark path with no light. And it is my belief that he is now staring down this dark path because he stopped learning. It stopped. Not the show, but him learning from the show. When he started out Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I myself and a couple of other friends that I know caught on at about episode 5, episode 6. And went on from there. And we jumped series, we've come back, we've done this, that, the other, we've quite knowledgeable about the entire abridged community and so on and so forth. But Martin stopped taking from the show and instead gave to the show, gave too much. And in fact, he's put himself in a hole. Because now it's all about the series, it's all about the show, it's all about what he can do with what he's gained from the knowledge, and instead of learning more about what he can do with this newfound skill, it's now, what can I do with my current me? That makes little sense. When he started out, he did the show because he wanted to learn how to do a lot of different things. And upon doing them, got better at them, more skilled, more efficient, and more talented in the field that he is in, that he essentially created. But it stopped. And at some point during the show, it went from him taking from the show, even though he's creating the show, to him putting too much into the show. He's not learning from what he's doing. And if he's not learning from what he's doing, he doesn't know where he's going. And when you don't know where you're going, you can very, very easily stray off the path. The path that you have set for yourself. I see it in a lot of people. It's not just LittleKuriboh, it's depression in general, this sense of self-loathing that it's crippling, and it's a sense of you are not satisfied with who you are. And the only person who can change that is you. I know I sound a little angry at this. This topic is very, very close to home. But it's not something that just goes away. It's not something that you can click your fingers and be like, oh, I've read this book, I'm not depressed. No. And there is no quick fix for it. There never will be. This is a fundamental problem within you. You need to be able to tell yourself that you are happy and satisfied with you. And the only way you can do that is if you satisfy your thirst for knowledge, for your limitation. The only way you can find your limitation is by walking forward. It's not easy. It's not easy when your view on life is dark, that all you think about is death and morbid thoughts of your eventual demise. And you look at life and you look at everyone around you and you wonder, what is the fucking point? When you have possible paranoia of people who may be doing nothing against you, or just being themselves or going about their business, and your brain automatically kicking into overdrive and being, that person's against me, they're laughing at me, they're looking at me, they're this, that, the other. That is my personal experience. It's not easy when one day you just wake up and you don't want to get out of the fucking bed. You don't want to hear anyone's bullshit. You don't want to talk to anyone. You don't want to do anything. And it cripples you. It cripples you to the point where you defeat yourself. The depression doesn't even need to be there. And it's hard to come back from. And it's hard to beat it back. And nobody can fucking help you with it. They can listen, and God bless them, they can try and understand as best they can. But nobody can understand that force like you. It exists in your own mind and festers on this stationary position that you take in life, that you stand still and you look at everything and you wonder why. And once it latches onto your brain, into your thoughts, into the deepest recesses of your soul, it stays there and it lingers. But there is a way to combat it. It's not a Hail Mary, it's not a saving grace. But it's something. It's something to learn from. Depression in this sense is kind of self-defeating, actually. Where it feeds on this stationary position in life, but it gives you something to learn from. It makes you learn that you never want to go back to it ever again. And it teaches you why. Because this dark fucking road that you can't see a damn thing down, it only goes one way. And you never want to step foot on it ever again. Trying to come to terms with the possibility that you may or may not be depressed is, well, they say the first step is always the hardest, and well, this one is definitely a fucking doozy. But it's not something someone else can do for you, and they tell you, oh, you may be depressed. No, it's something you figure out yourself. And you know when you're really depressed. Because your mood swings. And goes up and down like a fucking yo-yo. Not to the point of bipolar, mind you. But in a much more gradual and almost sadistic kind of way. I want to be able to say, you can do this, and this will make you happy. And I suppose in some way I can. But not to the definite, oh, go bungee jumping and that will make you happy. No, I can only give you a question that only you yourself can answer. And by answering that question, you at least gain some kind of light on this path that you have set for yourself. It goes... Well, the question is difficult. It's difficult to explain, so you're gonna have to bear with me. And the start of it may be kind of morbid in a sense, but you have to understand this little piece of wisdom, this little piece of knowledge has been gained from the onlook of depression itself. The question is as follows. If you can picture yourself being the only human being on Earth. And I mean no friends, no family, no strangers. Just you, nobody else. You can picture yourself on this planet alone. But it's not the only thing you have. You're not the only thing you have. You have the knowledge of the universe. You know literally everything there is possible to know in this universe. And you know it fact. Everything. Whether it be our planet or something or everything in Andromeda. You know it. You know everything there is to know about the universe. But that's not it. That's not the only thing. You also have the resources of the universe. Whether it be money, whether it be fucking gold, whether it be plutonium, fucking elements we've not even fucking discovered yet. And you have all of it. All of it at your fingertips. And you could do whatever the hell you like with it. Whether it be elements, whether it be currency of some description, paper, money, for whatever the fuck reason. And you take all of that, but you are the only human being on Earth. So this project of sorts that I have set you on cannot involve any other people. It's just gotta be you. Now, that's not to say that you can't ask for help. You can also do that. But there's no, in this illusion of you being alone on Earth, it is just you, the knowledge of the universe, and the resources of the universe. How would you improve yourself? How would you get up out of the bed and make yourself happy? What would you do to fulfill your days, taking into mind that you could literally do anything? Anything your mind can think up. What would you do to improve it? What would you do to build what was left behind? Or to rebuild what was left behind? And if you can answer that question, I could almost certainly guarantee you, if you work towards that in the real world, that will make you happy. Whatever that answer is, and only you can answer it. You build yourself towards that goal, I could almost 100% guarantee you that it will make you happy. Because achieving that level of enhancement in yourself and the knowledge that you will require to achieve what you have in mind is a great feat, not just for yourself, but quite possibly for the species. And there is the difference. That achievement in your mind to be able to enhance yourself, to make yourself happy in that sort of situation. That is you enhancing yourself, gaining knowledge in the real world here, Doing so, you are moving forward as a person. And in doing that, makes you happy. The only thing that's left, well, the only thing that's left is the meaning of life. And that, funnily enough, is your choice. See yous.